Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends. It's Kit Bowman, and welcome to my channel. And thank you for joining me for a festive story time as we learn and listen together. We are excited for a wonderful Christmas holiday of the year, as we feel the Christmas spirit upon us. We bring joy, warmth, happiness, and we also share charitable holiday traditions between our friends and family every year. First of all, in this video, I have decided to start reading this nostalgic, festive themed children's storybook called How the Grinch Lost Christmas by Dr. Seuss, the sequel to How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This book seems quite very interesting, most entertaining, very exciting. What I intend to do, I'm going to read that book by words. I will show you this beautifully illustrated pictures from each page. It seems like you came to the right place. So, ladies and gentlemen, would you care to join me for story time? Excellent. Right. Let's begin the story time. Up high on Mount Crumpet, just north of the Who's. The Who just delivered the day's Whoville news. On the cave on Mount Crumpet was home to the Grinch, who sprung from his cave just enough, plus 1 inch to stare down at Whoville from high up above it. Tomorrow's Christmas, and speaking fair of it. My heart, grinned the Grinch, has grown to quite love it. The Grinch had been patiently waiting all year to celebrate Christmas and bring the Who's cheer, and to show every Who he was different now. I have changed, thought the Grinch, and I'll prove it, but how? While eating his breakfast off the Who hush on why. The newspaper there in the chair caught his eye. A contest in Whoville tomorrow at 3 to see who can make the most Christmassy tree. Then he got an idea, a crafty idea. The Grinch got an awfully crafty idea. He laughed in his throat. I know just what to do. Then the Grinch grabbed the pencil and drew, with a plan in his hand. The Grinch hiked to the Who wood, where he found the most Christmassy tree he could, and he chopped at the tree with his tree chopping axe, till the tree was chopping fell down on next to Max. Then they hiked their way home with the tree on their tracks. Our cellar has full of the things we use to start decorating our tree for the Who's. Grab ribbons, he shouted. Grab bunch of bows. Grab plenty of these and a big pile of those. Bring everything reddish and everything greenish, and every last colourful thing in prettiness. Oh, win. He was grinchishly humming. All of them of a sudden, I heard someone coming. Now, who can that be? The Grinch said with a snare. He turned around fast, and then who should appear? Right there, in the hallway stood Cinderlou Who, the sweetest of all of the Who's that he knew. Hello, she exclaimed. I have something to ask. I do hope it isn't a bothersome task. I've come here to ask a small favour, you see, and if you have time, and can make one for me. The Grinch interrupted her tiny request. My dear, he replied, I would really be best to ask me tomorrow. On Christmas, you see. Right now, I must finish my prize-winning tree. Perhaps I can help you, Cinderlou said. But the Grinch simply patted the Who on her head, then shooed her outside and replied, Don't be silly. Do run along home now, before it gets chilly. Through the whole day and late into the night, he worked on that tree till that tree was just right. I've done it, he shouted. It's perfectly grand. I hope that it shows every who in the land. What wonderful Christmassy spirit I found. I knew in my heart that I'm sure to be crowned. At quarter past dawn, with the sun rising, the Who's were awake. It was Christmas at last. The bell around Whoville were winning and dinging. The Who's down in the Whoville were reminiscing. The Grinch ran outside and cried, Christmas is here! A sound of what winning and singing along cheer. And when the time came for the Grinch to depart, he loaded a sleigh and took off like a dart, sledding down to the Whoville town square. Contestants, the Grinch heard the mayor declare, it's time for the judges to judge all of you trees. The rest of you Who's have a seat, if you please. Then the trees were lined up from the tallest to the smallest. The Grinch's tall tree was the tallest of the list. Down at the end, to the far right, was Cindy Lou's Who's with his much smaller height. When the mayor announced who had been taking third place, the Grinch felt his Christmas-filled heart start to race. And now, the mayor said, without a further ado, the lucky contestant who placed at number 2 lives high on Mount Crumpet will throw that he's here. The Grinch wins the second place trophies this year. The Grinch felt a shock as his heart turned ice cold. He felt it started shrinking, and it it is told. There in the square, all of the Who's were near it, are certain they saw it and sure they could hear it. The moment the Grinch lost his Christmassy spirit, his arms started itching, his legs started twitching, then both his eyes started twitching and itching, and that Christmas filled heart, shrunk down. I've been robbed, the Grinch snarled. I'm through with this town. The Grinch stuffed his tray in his ramshackle sleigh. Then he lurched it and took it and held it away as Max tried his hardest to get him to stay. The Who's were all speechless, unsure what to say. The Grinch cried and cried as his heart grew more frozen. While back in the contest, the winner was chosen. Today, on the merriest day in the land, the mayor declared with his horn in hand, I'll give you a winner. She's not more than 3. It's Cindy Lou who has made the best tree. The Who girl had asked every Who there that day to make her an ornament she could display to celebrate Whoville and everyone in it. She had entered a contest, not thinking she had win it. The Grinch heard the mayor from a high on the peak. Then Cindy Lou Who grabbed the Who horn to speak. I wanted to make all of the Who fill the tree with ornaments, each of you, Who's made for me. But there was one ornament missing, you see. The whole town of Whoville was there on each lamb, except for Grinch. She called it out to him. Now, please, Mr. Grinch, I saved you a spot. You're someone we Who's like an awfully lot. This tree is for the Whoville. You're part of it too. I hope you can hear me, said Cinderloo Who. Cinderloo's voice stopped the Grinch in his tracks. He looked down at Whoville, then looked down at Max. I thought the Grinch puzzled a prize-winning tree would prove it to the Whos what today means to me, and show them for certain I truly belong. But perhaps I was wrong, and belonged all along, and maybe, just maybe, we all win instead, by being together at Christmas, he said. And there on Mount Crumpet, if you had been near it, would you have been able to see it and hear it? The moment his heart grew a few sizes more, to more than his heart had grown ever before. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch and his dog whisked back down under sleigh, and the Grinch placed his ornament on front of a small tree. Then he lifted it high so the whole town could see. The Whos all hurried, and they jumped to their feet, as the Grinch grinned and said, "Now our tree is complete." Then a mayor declared, "We have one thing to do, and make it official for Cinderloo Who. Would you do the honours?" He pointed and said, and the Grinch himself placed the crown on her head. Well, this is the end of the story. This concludes a story of How the Grinch Lost Christmas. I hope you found that story about the Grinch has changed his heart. He was very patient, waited on his home in the Mount Crumpet. I hope you found the story very interesting about the Grinch. He's about to attempt to win his contest of his tallest Christmas tree. He felt he was the winner in the second place, but he didn't win at all. Therefore, it was Cinderloo who won a best Christmas tree yet in the Whoville. Boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this video about reading a Christmas-themed How the Grinch Lost Christmas by Dr. Seuss. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and thank you for watching, and see you soon, and thank you for stopping by.